Hello there, welcome to my gaming channel, and today we're going to be going over one retro video game from the Game Boy. Yes, the Game Boy. That's how old I am. Maybe you played this game, maybe you didn't, but today I think it's important that I start going through my gaming collection that I've been collecting video games since the early 2000s. And what we have here today, as you can probably tell just by the box, is this game, which is Pokémon by Nintendo Red version. The box is it's in okay shape. It's not like pristine, but this is again the original game I had when I was a child. So, given the time when this game came out back in 1990, I think 7 or 1998, this is fairly good condition considering how old this game is. So we're gonna turn around the back so you can see the back of this. You've finally been granted your Pokemon trainer's license. Now it's time to head out and become the world's greatest Pokemon trainer. It's gonna take you all to collect 150 Pokemon in this enormous world, catch and train monsters like the shockingly cute Pikachu, face off against Blastoise, the torrential water cannons, stand strong when facing Pidgeot's stormy gust. There's just something so nostalgic, right, about having a physical copy of a video game with a box, with a manual, with 2 or 3 tiny little pictures on the back of it, right? There's just, I love physical copies of video games. And in this day and age, we are so suckered into digital video games. I buy into it, you buy into it. Most of our games are digital nowadays, and I just really value physical copies of everything, CDs and music. So we're going to open this up and just look at the manual. Open this very carefully because this box is old, and I'm very, very strict with, not causing damage to anything of mine. Mind you, this is the original, even has the text, I think, Justin on the cartridge, right? Because I bought this, yeah, Justin. So I bought this cartridge back in 2000, back when Game Crazy was still around and you could go in and get used video games, and I got a used Pokemon Red version, so that's why it says Justin and not my actual name. Cartridge, look at that. Physical cartridges, man, I miss these. The original Game Boy is where it's at. In fact, my first game I ever played on the original Game Boy was Kirby, back in my dentist's office, because the dentist's office that I used to go to in the 90s, when I would get my teeth cleaned, they had a box and they had an original black and white Game Boy, and then they had a Game Boy Color, and I would play Game Boy games. They had it for the patients waiting for their appointment. So we have the little consumer booklet, nothing new. It's pretty standardized here. And then also in here, we have a few more things. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I'm genuinely want to know if anybody is here. Do you know if this is a real thing? Like this Mario can, like, did they ever make a prop or anything? I don't know. Back when you would get these little Nintendo Power magazines, subscribe instantly, call this number, printed in Japan. Let's actually open this up. So basically, have things like this about Nintendo wanting to describe the 90s Nintendo Power. This is back before they had go to www.nintendopower.com, right? We had to call now for everything. This is how stuff was sold back in the 90s, right? Because the World Wide Web started, but it wasn't as mainstream as it is now. And the other thing is we have this little expert trainer guide. Look at that. The little 3D kind of looks like a notebook. Little corners kind of bent, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to go through this whole manual, but what I wanted to do is just go basically show you the world map on this little book here. Look at that. The original world map. I just love how they have a little control manual, right? The Game Boy with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like only a few buttons on how to use the original Game Boy. We have Professor Oak's original Pokedex, collection on how to collect Pokemon. I think as a kid, the evolutionary Pokemon is what really just made me so obsessed with Pokemon, and why I loved it so much is the evolution aspect, because I just always wanted to make my Pokemon get better and get stronger and, evolve. This here's the original Pokemon list in the actual little book. I don't know all of these in chronological order because they're obviously the ones are missing, but I remember that I used to get a piece of paper and draw out Pokemon list because I didn't want to draw in the actual manual of the book. So I would have a piece of paper and I would kind of try to sketch the new Pokemons I would catch that weren't in this original manual. This is the next page. Diglett. I always thought Diglett was so cute, but he was such a useless Pokemon, you know? This is the third Pokemon list page. We're almost in the hundreds, up to 96. Pokemon 118. This was always the Pokemon right here. Golding, right? Golding was by far the most triggering Pokemon, I think, simply because in Smash Brothers, the original game in the N64, I'd always had the worst luck with getting Golding when I would throw Pokemon balls. Every time. I would get so angry trying to play Super Smash Brothers 64 and just constantly getting Golding every time I would throw. My brother would make fun of me all the time for that. It was just my luck, right? I'm always jinxed in video games. I play even games now. When I play games, I'm always the one who's killed first. AI is always killing me. I'm always the bad luck teammate where I'm always the one who's shot first or killed first or something just doesn't work. Cute little old Eevee, you know, at 133. And this is the last page. Get Pokemon Player's Guide. I didn't actually know that they had a player's guide for Pokemon. I don't even know. Talk to it. Look at that. Talk to a game counselor. What is that? What is a game? Is that because like back in the 90s people would have gaming addictions or something? Talk to a game counselor? I don't know what that is. I wonder what would happen if I called that number right now. It's probably inactive, but power line 24 hours 7 days a week. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. If anybody knows what the talk to a counselor thing is, let me know in the comments. Very, very curious. But that's all that was in here. Just these 3 little booklets. And that summarizes this video for Pokemon Red version for the original Game Boy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please leave a comment, because I know this is my gaming channel, but this is the channel that I primarily want to interact with people on because it's just smaller and way easier to manage rather than my main channel. Thank you guys for watching. My Discord is linked down below. If you like video games, want to play COD with me, feel free to join my Discord. It's linked down below in the description. All my socials are linked down below. And I'll catch you guys next week for another retro video game showcasing.